Hey, I'm Jake Allyn, and you are listening to Like a Farmer.
Hey y'all, it's Pat. Welcome to another episode of Like a Farmer, powered by my great friends over at AgAmerica. Today, couldn't be more excited. Birthday, boy. As you can see, I got a fork in my hand. We're going to be eating cake all episode. But actor, writer, producer, director, a man of many talents, Mr. Jake Allyn. Jake, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. That's a lot of multi-hyphenates. I
I
don't even like saying them all because it just,
It blows my mind. I'm super pumped to talk about it, and I just want to jump right into your most recent project because it came out a couple weeks ago at this time now, is Ride. I mean, I got to watch it. I was lucky enough to have the, what'd you call it when you sent it? The private
screener.
So I didn't share
Sounds
it with anybody.
sexier that way than just here's a link.
100%. And I didn't share it with anybody. I feel like it's one of those dark internet things. I could have sold it for a couple $100. But anyways, I watched the movie. Unbelievable. I mean, tell me how that even comes about.
I'm from Texas.
Yep.
Grew up around that community, but I didn't rodeo growing up. I was a football player. So for me, like when Friday Night Lights, the movie came out, that was the first time that I was watching something both entertaining and loved it as a kid who liked movies, but I also was like, oh, that's kind of me. That's how I feel when I play football, and like those are the pressures I deal with and all that kind of stuff. So I was kind of getting to see myself and my world reflected on screen. But I also grew up loving the rodeo, and after seeing Friday Night Lights, I kind of was like, where's the Friday Night Lights of rodeo? Like, it's such an amazing world. It's a beautiful sport, and like more importantly, like my favorite thing about rodeo isn't even really the sport, it's the way of life that it represents. And I was just kind of made it my mission from then on of like, one day I want to make the Friday Night Lights of rodeo. I want to tell a story about that world and that community. And then about 8 years later, finally got to do it. And like you said, I did have to wear many hats to get it done, but it's part of it.
So that's the cool thing about it, and we talked about it. I'm going to be holding this fork all
Yeah.
day. I'm going to remind everybody we got a birthday boy in the house. We're going to dig into the cake too.
Yeah.
So yeah, go for it, man. Take the first bite.
I should, bro.
Yeah, let's see what we got here. All right, birthday cake, 1 out of 10.
Appreciate you guys.
Yep.
That's big time.
1 out of 10. Give it to me.
One bite. Everybody knows the rules.
Yep. Birthday cake edition.
I'm going to go 8.5. Maybe just because it was my football number.
Okay. 8.5. That's a good number.
I like 8.5 because it had a lot of icing, which I like, and just enough kind of action in the middle.
Love that.
I feel like that's a good rating, right?
100%. 8.5.
Cool.
So you hit on it like you grew up playing football in Texas. Probably the best state in the country to play football, obviously.
I like to think so.
But you create a movie that's about a lifestyle, the lifestyle that why we started Like a Farmer. So it's super cool, and I'm pumped to have you on the show. But like, why do that? What? Because you didn't grow up doing it. You said that. Like, what was so passionate about? Hey, I have got to shed light on the bull riders and the people that go watch these competitions. Like, what made it so much of a passion of yours?
I think, as a filmmaker and a storyteller, you're kind of looking for stories and like, what do I have a voice? What do I have a voice in? What do I care about? Who do I want to represent? Especially I lived in Los Angeles for 11 years, and you're kind of being tossed around. As an actor, you're just sent auditions. So you're just like, read this, tape for this. Here's your job. And just you're being sent the stories. And at some point you're reading these stories, and some are great, some are bad, some are in the middle. And at some point, most people, including myself, are like, A, I don't want to tell this story, or why isn't this other story being told? And B, quite honestly, you're like, I could do this better, or at least I can do it as good. And again, growing up in Texas, I felt like I had something to say about rodeo, and I felt like I could voice this community well and represent them honestly. And the movie really isn't set up to glorify the cowboy or to glorify rodeo. It's really just to honor the honesty of it, to tell a true story about it.
That's unbelievable. And I'm looking forward to digging into it a little more, but let's back it up. I mean, you're a Texas boy. And, I mean, how was that? And you grew up where in Texas?
In Dallas.
In Dallas. So you're in Dallas, Texas. How was it growing up in Texas? What did you do?
What
did Jake Allyn do for fun?
Sports. I always say, like, my favorite sport depended on, like, what time of the year it was. So like in the fall, if you ask me my favorite sport, it'd be football. In the winter, it'd be basketball. In the spring, summer, I'm like baseball. And then just slowly it kind of starts to get shaved down as like what you're best at, what you love, what people are liking you the most in. And then by my senior year of high school, I was playing just football and basketball, and then got the opportunity to play football at Cornell. And so in college, I played football. And then it was kind of like halfway through college, maybe by my like junior year, I kind of realized that the NFL was not looking for slow wide receivers, and was like, man, I need to find something else. Like pretty soon I'm going to have a hole because I'm not going to be Jake Allen, the football player anymore. Yeah. And I walked into an acting class, and within like 5 seconds of my first scene, I remember getting the exact same feeling that I did playing football.
So, and that was going to be my next question. I mean, growing up, acting just never even came across your mind. I mean, it was like you weren't in the backyard pretending you were Batman or Superman or...
I remember one time, I mean, I made movies as a kid growing up with my brother, like just for fun.
Okay, like YouTube movies?
Like, or just home movies, like home action movies. Like we would watch Boondock Saints and then just like go make our own version of Boondock Saints, or like Bloodsport. Like we were doing like pure action movies. I always say I started in stunts because my brother would just kick my ass on camera for 20 minutes and call it a movie.
You've got to have some great stories about that. Because, and like I say this all the time because I have a great team behind me that does all this great due diligence about the guests that come on the show. I feel like I read something about maybe fireworks.
Yes. This always gets traction. I feel like it's never going to leave the internet, I feel like, which is fine. We would make our own. We didn't really have a big VFX or stunts budget in the early days of making movies at 8 years old. And so we did an action movie one time. I think we were trying to recreate like the opening scene in Saving Private Ryan, the D-Day battle. And so my brother, in all his wisdom, decided to tape a piece of cardboard, which is flammable, if you didn't know, to my chest, and then taped some fireworks to the outside of it. And then somehow, I guess, put a T-shirt on me or something like that to cover it so you wouldn't see, and then somehow lit it. And then I would charge up the hill, and then right as I got to the hill, the firework would explode and pop, and that would be me. That was our squibs in the early days. So that was...
And so
that's why bull riding, they were like, you did some of your own bull riding. I'm like, yeah, I did a bit. And everyone's like, wow, that's crazy. I'm like, well... I was getting blown up by my brother at age 8. So
how does that, like, who's filming at that age? I mean, y'all, and what the hell are you filming with? I mean,
I think it was just one of those like big fat, I don't even know what it was, just a camcorder, I guess it'd be called. Like,
that's unbelievable.
Wasn't anything special.
So growing up, obviously you're playing sports, and in Jake's mind, you've got, I'm playing in the NFL.
Yeah.
But you're still doing some acting, and then like you knew like, okay, I like this, and then you end up going to Cornell. And number one, I mean, you go from Texas to Cornell. What was the decision there?
It was wild. I mean, my brother and my dad, they weren't really sports guys, but they both went to Georgetown. So even growing up, I did have a sense of like the East Coast and those like the coastal schools, I guess. And so that was kind of always just something that was more reality for me than maybe other kids who were from Texas and had parents who went to UT or Texas Tech or whatever. And it was just, as it happened, that was one of the schools that was recruiting me. I guess I was just smart enough to be able to kind of be in that Ivy League spectrum of things. And I kind of found myself in that in-between where I wasn't really getting the offers from, UT and TCU and like those kind of schools that you're not going to say no to those offers.
For sure.
But then I didn't really want to go to kind of the smaller D1 schools or the D2 schools in Texas, where I'm like, man, if I have the chance to go to Cornell, I need to take that, So I did.
Ended up in, is it Ithaca?
Ithaca, yeah.
Okay, Ithaca.
Cold.
Oh, dude. Texas boy going to New York? Are you kidding me? So you played how many years of football there?
4.
And then you took an acting class during this time, and you walk into acting class, and you immediately brings back memories of you getting
There's just a lot of, it's strange because the arts and sports are often seen so differently, but there's a lot of similarities between the two of them. I found particularly football. I mean, it's like I always say, action with the camera became my hut. You know what I mean? Like the second they call action, you got to just go. and it takes like movies take all this preparation, memorization of lines, whatever, but then in between action and cut, you can't be memorized. And I feel like it's the same with football, where it's like it takes all this preparation, but then in between, in the moment, you can't be running routes like memorized. It has to be natural.
Now, see, going back, I feel like Cornell, if you're going to college for acting, because who's the guy from The Office? Is it Andy Bernard? He went to Cornell, correct?
Yes, he did.
Have
you ever heard of it?
I've heard a little bit of The Office. I mean, is that one of your people you look up to on the acting side? Is that?
I mean, I don't look down at him, that's for sure. But that wasn't like a reason that I got into it.
But they must have a great acting classes there, right?
They had some, yeah. I mean, it was really more of an engineering school. We have a big hotel program there, but yeah, at theater for sure. I think Yale is the big one in the Ivy Leagues that has they're known as kind of like the best theater school, I think.
And then when you get into that, because what I mentioned opening up the show, I mean, you do it all, it seems like, writing, the acting, the producing, the directing. Like, at what point did you say, hey, I want to go down this lane, or I want to go down that lane, or I want to try to do it all? Because some of your projects, you haven't done every single one of them.
For sure. My dad is a writer. My older brother is a writer. So that is definitely like the family business, if you will. And so for me, storytelling, acting, directing, producing, whatever, it always starts with the writing. Even if I'm just acting in a project, most of my preparation and my work has to do with writing. You just don't see it in the movie or in the TV show or whatever, but that's where it all starts and ends for me.
It's a storytelling aspect of it, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And at the end of the day, a good movie, a good TV show, it all has to start on the page. So that's where it starts and ends with me. And
it seems like more recently, obviously, with Ride, and this is why I was super pumped to get you on the show, because the storytelling, like what you just said, I mean, you're passionate about it and you're good at it, and you have a family of storytellers. At what point did you get into the rural America lifestyle storytelling? I mean, did you have any of that growing up? Or
that's always been, again, like I'm from Dallas. I'm not from a small town.
Yeah.
Obviously in Texas, you're going to be surrounded and amongst those communities no matter what. But I was from the city. But I just always, I don't know if it was growing up playing baseball, in like select baseball where you're traveling around the country and particularly the state. You end up in a lot of small towns. So I don't know if it was that or what, but I just have always had an affinity and a love for that way of life. I don't know. I really couldn't tell you. I really couldn't put my finger on exactly what first drew me to like those kinds of stories.
It's probably the Texan in you, honestly.
Yeah, and maybe the sports thing of just football, baseball, whatever. It's like the root of all that is usually like hard work, teamwork, family. And you look at small towns. I mean, those are the same virtues that every small town is going to hold on to.
I mean, right? I mean,
I think that's probably it.
You think about the pillars of like a farmer. I mean, you just hit it right on the head. I mean, in my opinion, when you think about rural America and the audience of rural America, it's like sports, food. Obviously, food. The table is so important right now in agriculture, as you know. Outdoors, country music. I mean, you're here in Nashville, and I'm looking forward to talking about how you ended up in here. But like and then you think about the stuff that embodies who rural America is: hard work, grit, adversity, working 24/7 like our farmers do. So it's cool, and you've done a great job with your recent projects telling that storytelling aspect of it. So I commend you on that.
Thank you.
So you go to Cornell, play some ball. I mean, do you have some stats that you want to bring up? I mean, I didn't know Cornell had a football team. No offense, but
I mean, the sad thing is we weren't even that good in the Ivy League. So like, it just shows you where we were at. But we were always kind of like in the middle of the pack or just below. But I still have a community of guys that I just love and talk. They all watched my movie when it came out and support me and stuff. I still remember my senior year of college. After football was over, I went and did all the like student films, all the like director thesis films. The acting students would be in them. So I was in a bunch of them, and then there was like a premiere night with where all the directors showed their films, and like the entire football team came and watched. I don't think any of them even knew where like the theater was, but somehow found it and just supported me. And I don't know. That's what I love most about all that, sports and everything.
There's been some dudes that have come out the Ivy League. I mean, Harvard usually has some decent, NFL prospects coming out. So
I remember we played. God, I can't remember how to pronounce that name. Juszczyk, the guy for the 49ers fullback.
Oh,
Kyle, I think maybe his name is.
Yeah, what is it?
Juszczyk.
Juszczyk. Yeah, is he the one? I'm gonna have to fact check this, but is he the one that has a wife or girlfriend that does all the cool jackets now? Have you seen that?
I have seen that.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's crazy talented.
Yeah.
And all it takes is maybe a Taylor Swift wearing the damn thing, and that usually helps, right? I mean, if somebody took a video of Taylor watching your movie, I'm sure.
I know.
Sure, it'd get a little blow up.
That would be nice.
After Cornell, I want to talk about that, but first, I want to play a little game I like doing here on Like a Farmer. This game's called This or That, presented by the great people over at AgAmerica. You think about what you're doing at Texas and what we're talking about, the rural America lifestyle. AgAmerica, number one rural America financial institution in the country in 48 out of 50 states. You think about missing 2 states, and it might be 3. I really need to start double checking this. But the 2 states, what do you think the 2 states AgAmerica is not in?
That it's not in?
Yeah. If you had to just take a guess.
Hawaii?
We're in Hawaii, baby. It's a big coffee state.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? I mean, and that's okay that you got, but I've had multiple people that have.
I just figured it was so separate. They kind of they kind of do their own thing.
Agriculture's in every aspect of your life, Jake. Don't ever forget that. So this or that, I'm going to ask you a couple questions, and you're just going to choose which one.
This or that.
Yeah, this or that.
Okay.
You're doing it all when it comes to your projects, and you just told me that you're huge on the storytelling aspect. So would you rather be a writer or an actor on a project, and you have to choose one? You can't be both.
Writer.
Why is that?
Because that's where it starts, and as an actor, at least you're not usually. You're given the spectrum as an actor. You're given this to play in, whereas the writer, you get to choose what this is. You know what I mean?
You control the narrative as a writer.
Yes, exactly.
I love that.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
If Jake Allyn had a movie, who would be the actor? Who would you want to play you?
Oh, my gosh. I mean, as a Texas actor, you can't not pick Matthew McConaughey. I mean, I know it's probably the basic answer, but...
No, I mean, that's a good answer.
I mean, he's the best. I mean...
Do you think he's the best? Is he the best actor?
There's so many awesome ones out
Give me
there.
your top 3.
Oh, my gosh. Man, I mean, I had the chance to do just a couple days on the most recent Venom movie that's coming out in a couple months. So I got to work with Tom Hardy, and that was definitely a dream come true for me. And I think what was so awesome about working with him is he is seen as this serious method actor, and he's so deep and dark and all this stuff, which he can access for sure. But I loved getting to work with him because he's seen as such that, but then you work with him and it's like he's a technician, you know what I mean? Which I just thought was so cool because, you know, it's probably the same in football where you see some of these masterful athletes that just make these acrobatic catches and you're like, oh man, they're just so athletic. That's why they're great. And then you get to work with them and you get to see them practice or whatever. And you're like, oh wow, no, he knows the playbook inside and out. And that's what allows him to go make it look like he's just playing backyard football. You know what I mean? So that was really, really cool for me to see him that way. I think Jake Gyllenhaal is one of the best working actors of our time or of my time. I mean, I really love these actors that kind of are leading men, but there are character actors and leading men bodies, if you will. So like the Jake Gyllenhaals of the world, like McConaughey. I mean, those guys, Tom Hardy,
that's a great
they're
top
the best,
3.
man.
All right, next question. So, Ithaca, you're very familiar with it.
Yep.
It's 2 a.m. You're getting done with the bars in Ithaca, and you've got 2 spots that you have to choose from. You can't go to both of them. That's DP Dough and Wings Over Ithaca. What are you choosing after the bars?
Probably Wings Over.
What's your go-to
Just
order?
Because that was it. And especially because I wasn't really a wings guy growing up. Wings are I feel like more of a East Coast thing, actually.
I'd agree with that. 100%.
Yeah, it's not like I actually found growing up in Texas, it wasn't like barbecue was a big thing. Mexican food was a big thing, but not really wings. And so I just always felt very like East Coast when we'd like go have wings with the boys, you know, like I don't know, like, you know, with all my, you know, Boston friends or whatever, like grabbing wings.
That's all. What's your go-to order there?
I mean, I'm so basic. Being from Texas, I was always like ordering barbecue wings when everyone else was ordering like 5 different flavors and whatever. I just was like, y'all have barbecue?
Yeah. Maybe a side of ranch. That's all you need.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all, it's Pat, and I'm here to talk about one of my favorite companies in the world, AgAmerica. AgAmerica is your go-to financial partner for all things agriculture. As the largest independent financial firm dedicated to rural America, AgAmerica is changing the game of ag lending and leveling up financing options for farmers, ranchers, and landowners all across the nation. And I'll let you in on a little secret. The thing that sets this company apart from the rest is the people. They understand firsthand the unique needs of American farmers and ranchers because many of them grew up on farms themselves. They take a farmer-focused approach to finance, prioritizing relationships over transactions to help you build a stronger financial foundation for not only yourself, but for your family. So whether you're looking to buy land or secure working capital, AgAmerica has your back. Visit agamerica.com today to learn more and see how they can help you achieve long-term financial success. Because don't ever forget, when farmers thrive, we all do. All right, so you get done with Cornell, and now, I mean, did you have like a little gap before you started acting after Cornell, or what happens after Cornell?
So for a year after college, I lived in Jakarta, Indonesia, and I helped/ran a political race for a guy that was running for president there.
In Indonesia?
In Indonesia.
Hold on, so you leave Cornell, and then you go to Indonesia, and you get into politics, and you're trying to pick the next president of Indonesia.
I mean, I wasn't picking
You were supporting
him, but I was working for the political party.
Okay.
Gerindra.
And how does that even happen, Jake?
That happens. So as I mentioned, my dad and my brother both write, and my dad had a marketing and consulting company most of my childhood in Texas, and then he kind of started his kind of niche in that world became international political consultant, kind of bringing some of the things learned in the West or in the U.S. to these international places. And he worked in Mexico for a bunch of my childhood, and then took him to Indonesia, where this guy, this general, was trying to become president and kind of literally started his own political party there. And I hired my dad as part of the kind of consulting team there. And so right out of college, I think I moved to LA for like a month, and I was starting to act and, you know, chase the dream. And my dad was like, hey, your brother and I just got hired to run the election. This guy's officially, you know, running for president. It's going to be in like just over a year's the election. And, you know, we need somebody like on the ground there to live there. I know you just started acting. I fully support you. This wasn't him trying to get me to quit acting, any of that stuff. He just was presenting an opportunity to me. And he basically was like, you'll make really good money. You know, you're going to be, political party basically pays for all this. So like, you're going to be really taken care of, and it could really set you up. He was actually doing it to help my acting career. He's basically like, you come do this for a year and you won't have to wait tables. You know what I mean? You'll be able to really make a living for a year. So I took it and went and had this 1-year adventure of a lifetime working on this political election in Indonesia, which has just crazy stories that we can't get into.
Yeah, can only imagine.
That you could guess, yeah.
Did they end up winning, the party that you
Well, you know, this will sound bad, but it was actually really good. We got second, which...
Well, hell, how many were there?
Well, there was 18.
Okay, gotcha.
So that's why I'm like, if you tell anybody else you got second in the presidential, it's like, so you lost.
Yeah.
Which is true. But he got second, and he actually did eventually become president. I'm pretty sure he's the president as we speak.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that. I was thinking maybe like, I don't know, I went back to Texas and worked at freaking, you know, In-N-Out or something.
Yeah.
Not that you went to Indonesia.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome. You go back to LA, and then I'm assuming right after Indonesia.
Yeah.
You go. So when you go from Texas to New York to LA, is this like some sort of entourage thing? Like, have you ever seen the TV show? Like, do you just have a group and it's just the boys just going to LA and you're hanging and you're starting to make a career as an actor?
I mean, I remember I remember moving to Los Angeles afterward, and when I was in Indonesia, I was like Facebook messaging with one of my college roommates who had just moved to LA to pursue writing. And he was like, when are you getting here? Like, when's this stupid election over so we can start our entourage, basically? And I got there. We moved into an apartment in West Los Angeles in Lower Brentwood. And I still remember because I had my truck, and we went down to IKEA to pick up his bed. And we're driving back up on the 405, and the bed was in the back of the truck bed. And we had like tied it down. And I was like, I'll just go slow. I'll just kind of drive slow on the highway. And like as we're driving, this is 405, this is a major highway in Los Angeles. It's just like we start to see the mattress just kind of like going like this in the back of the truck bed. And I'm like, should we pull over? He's like, no, it's fine. And right as he said that, I look in the rearview mirror, and I just see the bed just literally float into the sky. I don't know how it didn't cause a wreck. It is truly just God. I don't know what you want to base it off of, but it did not hurt anybody. And we pulled over, ran into the middle of the highway, dragged his mattress off, and got it home somehow. So that was like my first day
in LA,
in Los Angeles. Yeah.
And when did you get your first like true shot at acting in LA?
Like a big break kind of?
Yeah.
I would say I booked a pilot, just like the first step, like when they shoot one episode of a TV show and then see if it's good to go to season.
I had to do a pilot, Jake, don't worry.
Oh, there you go.
I was just fortunate enough my pilot was with Josh Allyn, so I was
That'll help.
That, yeah.
I booked a pilot for a BET show called The Quad. We ended up going 2 seasons. It was a really good show. I loved being on it. I played a college football player, and booking that show, it was a series regular part, and booking that show was like I might as well have won an Oscar and they made me audition for it like 8 times. I mean, it was crazy.
So, like, bring me in there. What does auditioning mean? Like, because you see some auditions on TV of like you go into like a school auditorium and you have a few people sit on the front row and they're judging you. Like, what does a audition in Los Angeles mean?
Well, before COVID pushed everything into self-tapes and virtual, you would go to a casting office, which was either just in a random office building or sometimes they'd be like on the studio lots. But it was never like sexy. It's not like you're walking onto an awesome sound stage and they had the whole set for you or anything like that. It was usually the most basic of basic setups, just a wall and a couple chairs. And you'd go into a hallway where a bunch of dudes that probably looked exactly like you or trying to look like you or you're trying to look like them. And you sit there and you wait, and then you drive an hour to wherever, you wait for 40 minutes. You go do an audition for 4 minutes, and then they send you on your way, and you either hear something good or don't hear anything at all. I think that's like the thing that usually gets misconstrued is like in movies you see casting directors or something be really mean or really cold to actors, and like that can happen, but usually what is the worst about it is just the nothingness, just the audition after audition after audition of like putting yourself out there, putting so much work, memorizing 12 pages and whatever, and then just like, did they like it? I don't know, they haven't responded. And you're like, so just I don't exist.
Yeah, it's a waiting game.
Yeah, and that's probably the hardest part, is just like, does anybody hear me? Is anybody out there? You know,
I'd like
it's
to
a dark place.
I'd like to do an audition. I'm gonna do an audition one day. I'm glad that I know you now, because you're gonna have to let me know, like, Pat, this thing just popped up.
I'm
and
ready.
You're the
Okay.
perfect guy for it. If I was gonna be in a movie or a TV show and you were writing the script, like, what comes across your mind? Like, dude, I gotta call Pat. Like, what would come across your mind? Like, you know, and it might be just like an extra, like a dude walking the fucking dog or something on the side street, but it might be somebody like, you know, a good-looking dude that needs to jump into the ocean and save somebody, and like, oh, I got to call Pat. Like, you're writing the movie. Why are you calling Pat?
Obviously, I'm jumping to ag, so I'm like maybe a farmer.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
Maybe Field of Dreams 2 or something like that. You know?
Ooh, Jay,
You know what
I
I'm
like that, man.
I see you in an Iowa cornfield or something. You know?
Okay. Yeah. Huh. I might need to
We
think
made
about
a rodeo movie, man. I mean, maybe
Ride 2?
farming's next.
Ride 2?
Could be.
Is there going to be, have you any plans for a Ride 2?
In my head, I certainly have thought about it. You know, I've played the scenarios out in my head. I don't know that the movie screams sequel. You know, the way it ended, it's not like I set it up for it to be that way. But of course, if the movie had that much success, I'd probably rather do a TV series of it. You know, I mean, again, a la Friday Night Lights, I'd probably rather just kind of tweak the family a bit. Basically, the ride is, you know, basically about a family of rodeo people, and I'd probably rather just create a TV show that was set in the world of amateur rodeo in Texas.
Well, just keep me in mind, man.
I got you.
You've worked for with a bunch of legends too over your career. I mean, Frank Grillo, George Lopez. I mean, how's it been working with those types of people?
Those guys are awesome. I mean, Frank in particular, I remember was a big one for me early on. I think because what was so cool about working with him was, like, he's an athlete. He's a fighter. He's a boxer. And so he kind of works in the same way that I do. But he's also a pure actor and so good at his craft of acting. And so that was really cool for me to see, because I definitely come from football and I come from just working through it and all that stuff. But then I see myself as a pure actor. I want to be a great actor just in that world, you know, not a football player who can do roles, you know. And so to see him be able to have both and be proud of both was something really cool for me early on. And then Tom Hardy, as I mentioned, just getting to spend a couple days, not even so much working with him, but like watching him work, watching him do his thing, seeing how he operates both in front of the camera and just on set. You know, I mean, sure, as an actor, you're learning about the actual craft from other people, but a big part of getting to work with those people, I find, is like, how does a guy like Tom Hardy operate on set? Why is he so successful, you know? And a big part of that is I see him being a true number one, a leader on the set, you know? And
that's awesome.
It's really cool.
What's been your favorite project that you worked on so far? Minus Ride. You can't choose.
I was going to say Ride. I mean,
Yeah.
It really is Ride. My favorite project to work on. I mean, you know, I've gotten to make a couple of movies with my family. You know, the last movie that I'd written before this was called No Man's Land. It was about the Texas-Mexico border. That was the one with Frank Grillo and George Lopez. And my brother directed it. I wrote it and acted in it. So that was like a really special thing. I mean, we made the whole movie in Mexico, which is where most of the movie was set. And to be on like just an absolute vista of a desert on horseback. And I've got I would have a walkie-talkie. It was good. My character kind of goes on this horseback trek through Mexico pretty much by himself. And so we would get these huge, wide shots of me just on horseback trekking through the desert. And my brother would be like half a mile away with the camera. And to be like just on a walkie-talkie with him where he's like, gallop left, gallop right. That goes back. Like when you can make a multi-million-dollar movie, but in moments you feel like you're just back in Texas with the camcorder, that's usually when a movie gets pretty special, and at the very least gets really fun.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. I mean, why you've got so, and I go back to it because this might be my favorite part of my job is like storytelling, and you've got to be in it to storytell. And I love bringing people on the show and just trying to dig in, like, man, why are you doing what you're doing? What are you doing? And how does it relate to what I'm doing, right? I mean, right off the rip, your work ethic is unbelievable. And when you think about who we're trying to shine light on, the farmers, the work ethic, the adversity, no matter what, getting out of bed, working 24/7. I mean, what's been some of those types of like adversity that you've had to face, you would say? Because I know you have to probably on an everyday basis.
Yeah, I mean, you just get so much rejection at the end of the day. So many people are going to tell you no. Even if they're not saying you're bad, they're just still going to tell you no because you're making art, so it's they can't really quantify it, you know what I mean? But they try to, and Hollywood does its best to. And so you just get told no I don't know if you're allowed to cuss on this, but all the fucking time. Just no matter what, no matter how good you do. And the second you do good, they want to tell you why you can't do well again or on a bigger level. There's always going to be something that they're like, you can't do that. I don't know why so much, and maybe because it's the arts and everybody kind of has an affinity for it or something. I don't know, but it comes with the territory for some reason. And you end up as well, the other big part, or at least in my space in indie filmmaking, the finances of it are always kind of loose. And the amount of times I've had a movie that I think is going, and then it falls out from under you. I mean, I'm on this movie Ride. We were actually supposed to make it in Oklahoma, and I had given up my Los Angeles apartment. I had rented my apartment out. I had put all my stuff into my 4Runner. I was 1 day away from driving out to Oklahoma to start preparation to shoot in like 6 or 7 weeks. I had hired my whole crew. I had cast C. Thomas Howell at that point, a couple of the actors. And the state rebate that we were really counting on for, I think 30%, some 35% of the budget, just got an email that turned out we weren't approved anymore. Sorry.
The state of Oklahoma.
The state of Oklahoma.
Okay, yeah.
And I'm not even, I'm trying to throw shade on them
No,
or something.
yeah.
It's just a tough system and the realities of the world. And I'm like, what? But I worked hard. I deserve this. World don't care. And, called all the people that I'd promised jobs to and said, sorry, I'm a liar, basically. That job I promised you is not happening anymore. And also trying to convince them to stay on with me, trying to convince them, but I'm going to set it back up. I don't know how, I don't know when, but I'm going to set it back up. And props to all those people, because everybody said, just tell us when.
They stayed on.
Yeah. They were more, the thing I loved about all those phone calls is that everybody was more sad for me than they were for themselves in losing jobs, which I just thought, it really just showed me that I hired all the right people, because that's the kind of people you want to go to battle with, is the people that no matter what are going to stick with you. And that's what brought us to now.
We'd like to take a minute to talk about Blue Otter sunglasses. Blue Otter sunglasses are the shades of choice for country superstars like Luke Combs, Cody Johnson, Riley Green, and Hardy. With Carl Zeiss scratch-resistant lenses, Blue Otter has partnered with AgAmerica to create the Like a Farmer frames, which benefit farmers and ranchers in rural communities. 10% of each purchase of the Like a Farmer Blue Otter sunglasses goes to AgAmerica Giving. Go to blueotterpolarized.com and search Like a Farmer. You can also go to likeafarmer.com and click on merch.
We're talking about Ride, which is huge, and it's your most recent project, just came out. Tell me, I want start to finish, because like I mentioned, it seemed like you did everything on this. Tell me from start to finish how Ride came about.
I mean, in terms of writing it?
Well, just
all of it?
Jake, I don't know if you're just laying in bed and just bull riding. I need a movie on amateur bull riding. I just don't, I want to just dig in on how this works. Because it's just you're sharing a story about a lifestyle.
Yeah.
That's, it's probably the pinnacle of rural America, because it's just such an unbelievable sport. Number one, the sport's unbelievable right now. I mean, what PBR is doing and the team aspect that they're doing it. So it's great timing on your part. It's exploding. But I just want to know how from start to finish, the idea to the Friday a few weeks ago when the movie came out. I mean, just tell me from start to finish.
It evolved. I mean, the short answer is that it evolves. It starts as one thing. It starts as, to go back to farming, it starts as a seed, and it changes and evolves and grows, and then, you start to get other people involved, and then they bring what they bring to it, and, goes from there. But it definitely started with rodeo of how can I make a sports movie that's about a way of life? I mean, any good sports movie is got to be about more than sports. I mean, that's like the Rocky, Stallone always says, it's not a boxing movie, it's a love story. He just happens to be a boxer. And that's what makes it such a good boxing movie,
That's spot on.
And so that's really where it started. And then just started the research. I love the research part of it. I love getting to just chat with people about their lives and what do they want on screen? What do they feel is not told well or not at all? And so then it was a lot of being with cowboys, surrounding myself with those people and that lifestyle, and going to rodeos, which, I mean, if my job is to go to rodeos and take notes, I mean.
But you're spending time with those type. Forrest Smith is in the movie too.
Yeah, man.
Dude.
He's just cowboy as it gets.
It's
kind of scary.
If you wake up and say, hey, I need a cowboy, I mean, that might be the first, R.I.P. John Wayne, that might be the first person that you call.
Yeah, I mean, so I was in an interview this morning, and they asked me, who was, you got Forrest J. Smith, that was so great. Where was he on the list, And I was like, he was the list. That's it, man. And the movie, again, you asked about, like, where the movie came from. Like, a big element for me was that I wanted to make a movie that was multi-generational, about a family of bull riders, and in particular 3 generations of bull riders, because that sport, and as it is with farming too, is almost always generational, and it's their heritage, and so I really wanted to dig into that, and in particularly my character, the youngest bull rider in the family, is like the honor that comes with trying to carry on that legacy, but also the pressure and the negative aspects that it can lead to, which is, addiction in my case, and in our movie. And then, I mean, Forrest J. Smith and C. Thomas Howell both were good examples of how movies kind of start to make themselves and evolve. Because you get 2 guys like that on the movie, they're going to bring so much to it, Like when I can present them the script and then say, what would you do here? What would you say here? Have you ever been in this situation? And they start telling me their stories. I mean, it's incredible. Like the movie begins with C. Thomas's character, walking in for a ride, and you see a bunch of photos. And in most movies, those photos are going to be props, that you either go make yourself or that you buy online or whatever. That's just Tommy sending me photos when he was a kid. That's just Forrest J. Smith being like, yeah, here's me as a kid bull riding, and here's that picture of that rodeo and that rodeo from 1981 and whatever. And like most movies just aren't that real.
Why do you think this is fantastic, by the way? Why do you think this is getting so popular right now? Whether it's what you're doing on the movie side, whether it's, like I mentioned, Beyonce singing country music, Posty's in town now. I mean, why is this heritage and lifestyle getting so important? And popular?
Man, I mean, it's a great question, because I think it's a lot of things, and it's a little intangible in a way, but I think it's got to be the fact that, like, technology is exploding, and there's so much screens and all that, and attention spans are so short, and city life is exploding and everything. I think people can't help but kind of want to peek over at, what's going on in the simpler lifestyle, like, let's slow down for a second, and it's like escapism used to be these other worlds. People would talk about like escapism entertainment for movies, and that used to be like fantasy or wild, outlandish comedies or whatever. And now escapism in our world could be the West or rural America. It has become escapism, for better or worse. And so I feel like that's a big part of it.
And to finish up that project, how does it go? Like, who right now has that type of appetite when it comes to selling the film, whether it be a Hulu or a Netflix or a Amazon? Like, do all of them have this type of appetite for a movie like Ride? Or tell me how your interaction was.
I think it's in a good way. There's starting to be more appetite for it across the board. For a minute, it was Paramount. With Taylor Sheridan and Yellowstone. So for a second, it was just Paramount. But then, Amazon did Outer Range with Josh Brolin.
Dude, I've been watching that. You got to lock in, man.
You have to be you got to be like dialed in to watch that show.
Dude, I can only watch that show from like 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. and I got to have about 10 to 25 milligrams of CBD in me to really lock in. But it's a great TV.
10 to 25 milligrams when they made the show as well, probably.
You're exactly. And maybe out of zero, too.
Yes.
Because who is Ride with? What platform?
So we did it with a distributor out of Texas, actually, Wellgo USA, an indie theatrical distributor. Yep. And so we released in select theaters and then also at-home digital. So like on Apple, Amazon Rental, Fandango at Home, basically all the at-home rental spots. And then in a couple of months, we'll go to kind of our first streaming home.
And do you know who it's going to be yet?
I do, but I've been waiting my whole life to say this. I can't disclose that information. It's
Oh man, I was hoping.
I've been waiting. That's my entourage moment right there. Is I can't speak about that right now, but we do have a home for it.
Give me a hint. What's it start with?
The hint is I'm very proud of it, and it's a wonderful home that has made a lot of awesome Westerns and Americana stories.
When are you going to announce
it? So
it?
for me to be a part of that is just an absolute privilege.
You're bouncing around the bush.
That's
like
that's my politics.
When will you announce it?
I'm not sure when we can announce it. I know that it won't. It'll be still on digital rental for at least through the summer. I know that for sure.
That's awesome. You mentioned his name earlier, and I think he's actually been really good when it comes to this storytelling and this lifestyle. Taylor Sheridan. Have you had any interaction with that guy?
Only spiritually, only from afar, man. And I mean, what I can say for sure, you're talking about the appetite, and we were saying how has it grown so much, and like it takes one, right? So when I pitched Ride to Wogo USA, I could use Yellowstone as an example of why this could have success. Because for a while, if you brought in a rodeo family drama, no one's going to buy it. Unless you would have to have Kevin Costner. You would have to have Kurt Russell, one of those guys. So I had nobody. I just had 100 pages that I thought was pretty good. And in Hollywood, the star is king. Like, cast is king. So if you don't have that, you better have a great script. And usually the script needs to be, like, very commercial. It needs to be a CIA assassin on his last mission. Very kind of safe in terms of a sales space. But because of Yellowstone and it's just wild popularity and Hell or High Water and all those other projects that he's done, it allowed them to, they were still taking a risk, and I appreciate them for doing that, but it gave them a little something to fall back on of like, okay, we know the mark, so that's, again, like Yellowstone leads to a Ride. The success Ride is having, I hope, leads to more success for some other filmmaker that's trying to get into the space. I hope it allows for me to make more, so it's like, it's a domino effect.
So now I want to talk about where we're sitting today. And you mentioned Ride had something to maybe do it. I mean, why Nashville? Why am I talking to Jake Allyn Nashville? I'm assuming with what the work that you've done and what you're doing and what you're going to continue to do, in my mind, I feel like somebody just assumes Los Angeles or Hollywood or whatever, but why are you in Nashville?
And I did live in LA for over 10 years. I mean, I put my time in.
Yeah.
Nashville kind of came to me in a way. I had tried to make this movie in Oklahoma. That's where we thought we were going to make it. And along that path, I had seen, while I was preparing the film there, I had seen a feature-length documentary that was about Cody Johnson, the Deer Rodeo documentary about the song.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it blew me away. And I was watching it for research. And then by the end of it, I was like, who are these guys? Who shot this movie? Who is the cinematographer for this movie? Who produced this movie? And so I cold emailed the cinematographer, Keith Lehman, from that movie. Luckily, he responded. We started talking. So he was going to come shoot the movie when we were doing it in Oklahoma. And when that fell through, he was the first person that I had to call, to tell him that the job had fallen through. And he was certainly the one I was most, felt the worst to call him, because we had gotten so close, and he's just like a ride or die, and to call him like really was brutal. But to his credit, his response to me, laying this news was, come to Nashville for 3 days. You know what I mean? It shows you the man that he is. And he brought me to Nashville. I met Sean Silva, who produced and directed Deer Rodeo, and Don Lepore and his whole Tackabox team. And they kind of they literally and figuratively picked me up off the ground, and we brought the movie back to life. And 6 months later, we were shooting in Nashville.
Whole movie was shot Nashville.
Yeah, we shot some of the rodeo stuff in Kentucky at the Western Kentucky University, Bowling Green, in Bowling Green.
Yeah, Bowling Green.
we shot in their arena for the big rodeo scenes, but everything else was in and around Nashville.
It's crazy what life does, man. It's all full circle. Everything
I know.
brings you back to Music City, man.
And I hate admitting it because there was so much pain involved, but that movie falling apart was the best thing that ever happened to me. I mean, it changed my life. It changed my career, and it changed my life. I live here now. I couldn't be happier to live in Nashville.
I know. And so
like,
what?
If I'd made the movie in Oklahoma, I don't know if we're sitting here.
Yeah, and why stay in Nashville? I mean, why are you still? I mean, the movie's out, numbers are looking good. You could go and do something else now, but it seems like you want to.
I found my path and I found my tribe, man. Here, I think people here want to tell similar stories as me. They have a more positive outlook on like wanting to tell these stories. Like they're looking for the positive, as opposed to in LA. I found a lot of people looking for the negative. If you look for the negative, you'll find it. If you look for the positive, you'll find it too. It might take a little while. It might have to get a little dirty, but you'll find it. And I find that way more in Nashville. And I just love country music. I just love it. I can't sing, I can't play a lick, but I'm obsessed with country music. I think,
Have you always been, or has it just been?
Not always to this point. I think once I started getting into storytelling, it kind of gave me like a different level of respect for it. And I also found myself learning a lot from music in my story. Again, like I listened to a song like Dear Rodeo,
and it's a story.
And I can learn as a screenwriter for Ride. I'm kind of like learning things from that song, and then other scripts that I've written or movies that I'm working on, I can listen to music from people from that world and from that community, and learn about it.
Who are your top 3 country musicians right now?
Well, number 1 would be Bones Owens, who's a part of Ride. He has 4 tracks in the movie of his original songs, as well as he did a electric guitar national anthem rendition for our rodeo, which I just thought he slayed. So he's number 1. Man, Tyler Childers. I'm working on a movie in Kentucky right now, so he's just like the best up there. I love Ryan Bingham. I was and am a huge Ryan Bingham fan. And maybe on the female side, Morgan Wade. I think she's great. I talked to her a couple times, her being from Kentucky and stuff, and I love her music. I love what she sings about, and kind of willing to bring, she sings a lot about her addictions and stuff like that. And I think it's really beautiful when artists can have the ability and the strength to sing those songs.
And you can tell, and I had Parker McCollum came on the show.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like you can tell when somebody is real when it comes to their music and what they sing. Mm-hmm. Like you believe it. Like you absolutely, like in my opinion, like an Ian Munsick, when Ian sings, like I believe it because he's from the West. He brings the West here to Nashville. Like I believe when he opens his mouth, and
they seem
Lainey
like they're
Wilson.
singing just to you too.
Correct.
I feel like that's what the greats do, is they can be singing at a packed NFL stadium, thousands and thousands of people, and every single person is like, oh, he's singing just to me.
They're talking to me, yeah.
Yeah, it's like that's that's that special place.
I killed a bottle of Jack Daniels last night. Like Westlow speaking to me right now. Like they just talked to, man. No, but so your project's moving forward. You're talking about something in Kentucky. I mean, that sounds unbelievable. But are you going to stay down this path of, the rural America storytelling, or is that kind of your niche now, or what do you?
I think so. Yeah, I mean,
awesome.
Long and short of it is, I mean, I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, oh man, last couple of movies had a cowboy hat on the poster. I wonder if people will, again, Hollywood looks for a reason to tell you no. I wonder if they'll only let me tell those stories now. And then I was like, okay, that's fine. I would love to. There's so many. I think the beautiful thing is there's so many of those stories and different ways to tell those stories that I'm not too worried about it. I mean, I hope to find, I don't want to push myself into that. If I see a story set somewhere else, or that is a different tone or whatever, I would like to give myself the freedom to go after it. I don't want to lose my creative muscle in that way, you know what I mean? But I'm gonna keep telling those kinds of stories for sure.
If there was, you came on the Like a Farmer show today. If there's one thing that you would say to those people of rural America that you're trying to tell their story, what would you tell them?
Oh God,
because you're doing a great job.
Keep being y'all. Hold on. I mean, at the end of the day, Ride, it's a bull riding movie, but bull riding is just a metaphor for life in the film. Like, the only real rule in bull riding is hold on, which I love simple stuff like that. That's what I'm all about. And I would just tell the rural community, hold on, same as we're all trying to do.
That's fantastic. And I'm glad that you got to meet the team. I've got the AgAmerica media team here today, whether it's Colleen or Brandon or Reese. I mean, everybody, it's so cool to see a team get together to shine light on an industry, but on a and it's not just a place, right? I mean, this is our saying at AgAmerica Media. Rural America is not just a place, it's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
You like that, don't you?
I love it.
And like you have you that come in and like you create this movie, Ride, and it's like, man, this is what we're a team working together because nobody's doing it. And there's some people, especially like what you're saying in Hollywood, I mean, they just say, I don't know if people are going to watch it. You just don't know. It's not really cool.
I love when Hollywood calls like rural America niche.
Exactly. You kidding me?
What?
I mean, dude, didn't you just eat a hamburger last night, Mr. Hollywood? Like, so that's
explain the data to me of that. Like, how does that even? It's just mathematically incorrect.
I feel like you want to go on a rant about that.
No. I'll end my rant right there. I just
why do you think that though, Jake? I mean, why do they think it's just a niche and it's just kind of a?
I mean, the coasts tend to control the industry of it all. The work, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of people have moved out of Hollywood. Actors now live in Nashville because everything's gone virtually and you don't have to. And people have said, oh, so not much shoots in LA anymore. Is Hollywood leaving Hollywood, basically? And I always say, yeah, production is, but the business will always be there. And so when the business is controlling, they can control the narrative a lot. And I think also, farmers, cowboys, they're a quiet bunch. They're a humble bunch. They're not ones to beat their chest, really, and scream, I want this, I want that. You're getting my story wrong. Tell it this way. They're not the type of people that do that. They're busy tending to their crops, And so I feel like as a filmmaker, that's what I get to do. I'll beat my chest for you. I'll go say it for you. And that's where I'm most excited right now, like my place in it all.
Dude, I'm excited to see the projects that you have coming. I'm excited to see how Ride does. Seems like it's doing great so far.
Yeah.
Thank you for what you do, man.
Oh, thank you. Likewise.
I mean, this has been fantastic. And thank you all for tuning in today. As you know, go check out Jake's new movie, Ride, and continue to like, comment, subscribe, share, do whatever you got to do to be like a farmer.